Hey guys, it's David here from Bear on Marketing. In this video, I'm going to be showing you our new software tool for lead capture on your WordPress websites, and that is a tool called Grow. Now, this is an example of what Grow can do. I have an article that's pulled up from USA Today, and you can see superimposed up here in the corner is a picture of me and a related call to action. So in this case, this is election news, and I have a call to action that says download your 2016 voters guide. Now this may of course not be relevant to you and your business, but it'll show you how you can leverage other people's content to then put a call to action over to your stuff and then get people clicking on that link. And in this case, this is going over to download a voter's guide from Vote 411. So let me show you how this all comes together and some of the other features that exist inside Grow. So I'm inside of a test account that we've just set up, and there are 4 different options you have in terms of the types of ways that you can connect with and engage your audience, capture leads, put a marketing message in front of them, and so on. Amplify, which is a full screen takeover of a web page. So I'll give you an example of that. Let's go ahead and dive into some of these templates that we have inside. So here's a pretty classic one. Let's go ahead and I'll select this one. And if you've ever been on a website where you start reading an article and then something drops down from on top, it might look something as simple as this. So get your free PDF report, and then you can have an opt-in or click the close button and it disappears and you can go about reading the article or doing whatever it was that you were doing on that particular page. So this is a fairly straightforward, simple one. Let's take a look at another one if we can. All right, let's go back to new. And here are some other examples. Actually, I can just show you all 50 of the ones that we have here. And you can customize these completely, fully, in any way that you want. So let's take a look and see what else I have. The simpler the better. Typically, if you're doing a full screen takeover, you want to be able to have something quick and easy and simple. Here's a pretty fun, engaging one that is easy to swap out the imagery, but it has a huge, great impressions. Okay, so very, very simple, single image background, and it asks a question. Could you be our next top model? Yes or no? No will close this out. Yes will actually go to the next step. Yes, it then asks another question. Are you female, age 17 to 24? In this case, that's the demographic that this particular advertiser is after. Yes or no. No will close it out. Yes will move them on to the next step. Enter your name and email address below, and we'll be in touch with further details. Okay, so this is a process called a micro-commitment survey, basically. So what is happening is people are going to come into this first page, and they're going to say, are you interested in being a model? If they are, then they're going to go on to the next step, which is, do they qualify in the age range and the gender that the advertiser is looking for? And then finally, let's capture the lead and move them forward. So that's a concept. Again, this is not necessarily relevant to your business, your industry, but the idea of taking a survey and having it superimposed over your website is a pretty cool one. Okay, let's look at one other example. In this case, all right, so you can see we have some more of these surveys, but in this case, let's say that you have here's a good one. Here's a real estate one. And all of this stuff is completely customizable. So I'll show you an example on here of how this all works. International real estate agent, browse our portfolio, and then you can actually have this variable, this geo-specific variable that, in this case, it says in country here. Well, obviously, you're not filling in the country. It's going to geo-target people based on their location. So this is a tool that we have to have the name of the city, the name of the flag of the country, the name of the country, and then the city based on zip code. So let's use that as an example, right? So I can pull that in, and it's going to generate right? Zip code right there. So I have the ability to do all of that geo specific targeting depending on where somebody might be logging in from. And then in this case, we have the country flag here as well. So if we were to look at this, I'm going to go ahead and publish it. Actually, I'm not publishing it as a page, so I can't easily do that. But yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so save and close. And I'm going to show you, we're going to get back to that in just another minute, but let's go ahead and click the status as on. We'll assign a domain name. Let's just stick with, we'll just stick with that. Okay. Let's see. I think I have to actually, okay, there we go. So that will now be something that I can use a little bit later in an example. So let's actually jump over to the next section, which is engage. And these are individual pop-ups that will show up on a web page. And again, let's just jump to the all examples. And these are all templates that you can change completely. So it's good to start with some inspiration. Maybe you want a simple email opt-in. Maybe you want to have a little ad with a multi-step opt-in. There's all sorts of different things. So let's say it's medical help or dentistry, or you're a brewery, or I like this one, the pet grooming business. So this can pop up over any page on your own website, or you can share pages on other websites as well. Okay, so pet grooming salon, I can easily change all of this. All I need to do is double click, and I can say, let's change it to dog obedience training. Okay, and I can change that, right? I'm not sure that I spelled that correctly. Yeah, it looks like I did. And then I can change this stuff here on this list, and then have a call to action for people to sign up, or to click a button to then click to call, or book a time, or whatever it may be. So there's lots and lots of different options here. I also have the ability to have this automatically generate a mobile-friendly version of the very same thing. And in this case, I decided not to show the image, but I can click and have, oops, that's not the image that I want. It's this one. Have the dog show up, right, or not. And then I could reposition the dog to another location. So very easy to, once you've designed the main desktop version of it, it will auto-generate, and then you have the ability to adjust for mobile as well. So that's an example of a pop-up, and then you can choose where on the page you want it to show up. So in this case, we can have it show up, right in the middle here. We could have it show up in the upper right, the upper left, any number of places. So in this case, let's go ahead and see where we have this set up to show. Yeah, so it's simply a pop-up. We could make it a slide-in, and then we could choose the position of it. But a pop-up is going to just show up in the middle. But I could have this slide-in on the bottom right, and let's see if we can see an example of that. Right. So here's what happens when it slides in on the bottom right. Right. So it shows up, and then it slides down on the bottom right. Now I can go back and change that again. I can have it slide in on the top left. All right, and let's go ahead and take a look at what that one might look like. So, all right, and I have this over here, but you can see how it works. We can make adjustments accordingly to to what's going to work best on the landing pages that we're sending this thing to. So there's your example. We can move our dog around. It's very, very easy to you can have him sticking outside of the box there. So kind of cool stuff. All right, let's get out of this one. And I'm going to go ahead and leave this. We won't save it. And let's jump over to our last one. Oops, which is, I think I clicked something that I didn't mean to click there. Capture. And then this is a landing page, basically a page that you would set up so you can define a single page. Let's excuse me, it's an event or a webinar that you want to have, you can create a quick sign up page. Again, there's like 88 different landing pages that we have currently in our templates, and a lot more being developed each and every month for you. But here's an example of an opt-in page for a webinar. So let's go ahead and take a look at the whole thing outside here. Okay, so it's a two-step opt-in. So somebody would see this and go, yeah, I want to do that. Click register now, and then they would be brought to this page where they would get the details on the conference. So that's how it works. Again, this is just a template for you to be able to go in and adjust. It's a great starting point when very often you don't know exactly what you want to present. Well, we take care of that for you. We have the templates in place to easily provide the design work that you're in need of, so that you can quickly get a page up on your site. And then inserting that page onto your site is quick, simple, and all you need to do is have a WordPress plugin and then identify which page you'd like inserted on your site. So let me show you an example of how I'm actually doing this on my website. Let's pull up an incognito window, and we will just go to my main site. And when somebody visits my site for the first time, and then again after, I think it's 14 days or 30 days, depending on what we've set up for them, they'll have the site load. And as they are browsing through the site is loading pretty slowly today for some reason. Okay, they have this pop-up. So, marketing and growing your business, online, ain't easy, how can we help you best? And then I have 3 different directions I can send them. Do-it-yourself options, done-with-you options, or done-for-you options. And if they aren't interested, we can always just close that window, and it will then load my site. So that's how that works. Let's say we wanted to send them to a blog post. I have a few different blog posts where I have a scrolling call to action. So let's see what blog posts I have going on here. Looks like I got a lot of windows open at the moment. So even though we're doing this incognito, I'm not loading things as slowly as I ought to. Okay, so marketing automation isn't always the answer. Let's go ahead and load that. Actually, let's load that in. It's not going to load it in an incognito window for us for some reason. So let's see. Come on, website. Let's get moving. Okay, serves me right for trying to do all of this in the middle of. Okay. All right. So here we are on the marketing automation isn't always the answer blog post. And as somebody is reading it and scrolling through, at a certain point, they're going to get this call to action over here, this which is totally relevant to the content that they've just been reading. So it invites them then to go over to access my my free training on marketing automation, and then they'll come over to the sign up page. So those are just a few examples of how you can utilize this. Now, I wanted to get back to that example of the amplify message that I showed you earlier, and let's go back. I'm trying to remember what it was. Let's go back and see what it was, because I don't remember offhand. Okay, so this was. Let's take a look at the preview. This one was a, okay, get your free PDF reports. Okay, so it's not anything very specific. So let's go back over here, and we'll jump over to the speed leads setting, and we're going to create a new one. And in this case, this is fairly generic, but let's say that we want to have this superimposed over USA Today. So I'm going to have an article in USA Today that maybe I want to share, and then I want to have this drop in. So let's just say USA Today. I'm going to choose a pop-up of conversion mat. And did I save it? Okay. HTTP. And do I have that option here? Okay, so it's telling me yes, it can. And then I would have the ability to choose the pop-up or conversion mat. In this case, for some reason... okay. You know what? I didn't set the domain name properly, and so that's the problem. So let's go back, and I think it is 3ng.io. Let's go back. Yeah, okay. Sorry, trying to be quick and efficient here, and did not do a good job of it. Okay, so let's go ahead and manage that. Alright, in this case, we're going to change the settings, and we're going to turn this... I didn't save it, that's why. Okay. Let's assign a domain. I don't need to assign a domain. Let's go ahead and assign that one. Alright, now let's go back to the bottom and save it this time. Okay, great. Now we should be able to go back over to speed leads. Hit new. Call this USA Today. Alright, and that is a site that we can use. And then we have campaign number 3. Okay, there we go. And so, what this is going to do is it's going to auto-generate, and I'm going to save this. It'll actually create something that I can share. But if I want to go ahead and see it, this is the USA Today site, and then this is going to be my call to action superimposed over it. Now, I can have a delay on it if I want to. So if you see I'm going to close it now, it's going to lift up the USA Today site. But let's say I want to have a delay and not have it show up right away. Let's go back over to manage, and I can adjust this accordingly. All right, let's get back into our campaign here. And in this case, I want to oops, let's go to settings. There we go. In this case, I want to have the ability to have a little time delay. So I can say, let's wait 6 seconds or 8 seconds after I have loaded the page. And now we can save it. All right. So in this case, let's close that out. Let's go back over to our speed leads, manage, and let's take a look at it now. So in this case, it is going to load USA Today. Oops, actually it didn't for some reason. I bet that I forgot to save something again. Typically, that delay, the 8-second delay, is a good amount of time for somebody to get onto a site. There we go. So get onto the site, establish their interest in the content, and then they start reading it. All right, and then the thing will drop down. And so my guess is that as we're looking at it, we're reading through here, and then we're going to have a little bit of delay. What happens with websites in general is that they're loading all of this other stuff. They're loading their ads and a whole bunch of other things that are being loaded on the site as well, and that slows down the count time, the start time for that timer. So let's try it one more time, and we'll see the call to action superimposed or drop down on the page in a moment here. At least that is my hope. That's my expectation. So let's see how that's it. Tons of stuff loading up on these pages, and that's one of the reasons why so many people have ad blockers these days to get rid of a lot of this nonsense. So, all right. Looks like I have made an error here somewhere. I'm not quite sure where. So let's go back in and take another look. We'll go back and manage that. Okay, campaign and the settings. Status 8%. You know what? So I have it set up so that it's only going to display it one time to the first time somebody visits. So what we actually need to do is open it up in an incognito window. And again, this is all the settings. So this now won't recognize that I've been there before, and it will open it up. So there you go. We have lots and lots of different settings. You always have to remember to make sure to double check those settings, and that was actually a useful mistake in terms of a teaching moment to show you why something does or doesn't happen. So now if I were to reload this page, the drop down probably should not show up because I have set it to only show once per every so often in terms of the visits, and so it's not going to show up again until tomorrow when this person with this browser comes back to this particular page or this website. So that's how this all works. I'm sure there's a lot that I haven't covered in terms of integrations and other things that you can utilize to leverage other people's content as well as get get people onto your list, how easily you can upload images, and so much more. But it's a quick overview of how Grow works. And if you're interested, please reach out to me. I'm currently in the process of setting up new accounts for our new software and giving you an opportunity to try it out for yourself in your business on your WordPress site, as well as sharing your calls to action over other people's content that you share through social media. So go ahead, reach out over at bearonmarketing.com. You can find me there, and if you have any questions, I'm here to help answer them and to get you more traffic and more leads into your business. I'm David Bear from Bear on Marketing. Thanks so much for watching.